It's been 18 days since we closed down New York. I know it feels like a lifetime. I tell my daughters every day, it's only 18 days since everything closed down. It's 39 days since the first COVID case in New York. Feels like a lifetime. It's 80 days since we had the first COVID case in the United States. 80 days. Been an intense, life-changing 80 days, but that's what it has been. When we started this situation that we are still in the midst of, before people get complacent, the end of March, the White House task force, coronavirus task force, was still talking about 1.5 to 2.2 million deaths, okay? Their best case scenario with quote-unquote mitigation efforts was 100 to 240,000 deaths in the United States, which is breathtaking. For New York, there are a number of models that were put out that we are following. The most frightening was Columbia University that said we could have 136,000 people in New York City only who would be hospitalized, not infected. We had the McKinsey model, which suggested 110,000 people could be hospitalized statewide. We had a second scenario from McKinsey, which is 55,000 people hospitalized. And then the Gates Foundation, thank you very much, funded the IHME study, which said a high point of 73,000 statewide. Any of these scenarios are devastating for New York, because remember, we only have a 53,000 bed capacity system statewide, 36,000 beds in New York City. So any of these scenarios are problematic. Luckily, the current trend, if it continues, and if we continue the flattening of the curve, we're at about 18,000 people hospitalized right now. We've increased the capacity of the system dramatically. We have moved pieces around the state like never before. Our healthcare system has done a phenomenal job in doing an insurmountable task. Our federal partners, the Army Corps of Engineers, they have just really all done a great, great job. And our theory, and I believe my job as governor, prepare for the worst, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Now, we're at about 90,000 bed capacity in our overall system today, with everything we've done. Even the 90,000 beds, as you see, doesn't compare with the most problematic scenarios. 90,000 beds, we can handle the McKinsey moderate scenario. We don't make the McKinsey severe scenario at 110,000. I believe that 90,000, we have a plan to get to 110, converting dormitories, et cetera, but it would be a massive undertaking and a massive scramble. We do make the Gates-funded projection model. The Columbia University model, we can never. That would just be a nightmare. That is the one that keeps me up at nights, because you couldn't get anywhere near that projection. The additional good news is the hospitalization rate does suggest that it's coming down, and we are flattening the curve. We had 200 net increase in hospitalizations, which you can see is the lowest number we've had since this nightmare started, actually. Change in ICU admissions is the lowest number we've had since March 19th or so. So all of this data suggests that we are flattening the curve so far, and the numbers are coming down so far. Number of intubations is down. 3-day average on intubations is down. So So far, our efforts are working. They're working better than anyone projected they would work. That's because people are complying with them. And we are saving lives by what people are doing today. Our expression has been New York tough because every day is tough on many, many levels. I get it. But every day that we are New York tough, we are actually saving lives. And don't underestimate this virus. I think that is a mistake we made from day one. We as the collective we as the global community. This virus is very, very good at what it does. We lost more lives yesterday than we have to date. I know New Yorkers. I'm born and bred. The instinct is, well, this is good news, now I can relax, because, by the way, I've been dying to relax and get out of the house and end this Groundhog Day reality. Yeah, you're not out of the woods. And now is not the time to misunderstand what's happening. We have done great things, and we have saved lives because we have followed these policies. The moment you stop following the policies, you will go right back and see that number shoot through the roof. And we are not prepared